Give me liberty or give me death. Give it all till there's nothing left. No matter what the consequence, stand tall with confidence. We fall, we get up. Go hard, never let up. Even if I'm fed up. Poverty-stricken, disease-inflicted, infected demons with tainted semen. They died for freedom and we bereaved them. Adapted a dream we didn't believe in. Took to the streets, march repeating. We shall overcome the ones that lead them. Soon disappeared, died in vain. These shorties out here don't remember their names. Went to the Capitol.
Welcome to A Guest in the House podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Mickey Hess.
And I am your other co-host, David Traum Diggs Shanks. Today we have a special edition of A Guest in the House, as listeners and reoccurring listeners to the podcast know we're not big on guests. We've had a couple, but it's not like a guest-heavy podcast or an interview-heavy podcast. But we have the special privilege of interviewing a someone who's very close to one of the kind of benchmark happenings in the past year and maybe in the past decade or two. So we have Mr. Selwyn Jones, the uncle of George Floyd, with us. He's been gracious enough to sit down with us and do this episode with us. So Uncle Selwyn, as we've already established that I'm going to call him. Welcome to A Guest in the House podcast.
Hey, man.
Welcome.
Hey, man, I appreciate you. I definitely appreciate Mickey, Shanks, and that crazy Anthony dude, man.
Absolutely.
And what I tell people is this isn't the biggest thing that's happened in the last couple decades. This is probably the biggest isolated incident that's ever happened in the whole world. Besides, we've had two things to stop the world. One of them happened to be COVID, and the other one just happened to coincide with COVID. Because without COVID, I can promise you, especially the deal, Shanks, we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation because it would have been just another day.
The world was watching. It was the perfect or imperfect time for the world had stopped, and we all got to see what this was. Now Uncle Selwyn, like I said, we're not like an interview podcast, so I don't think we're gonna hurl a bunch of questions at you, and you seem very prepared to have a conversation.
We just have a conversation.
That's what we're gonna do.
Get it?
That's what we're gonna do. I wanted to start here though, Uncle Selwyn, because I've had tragedy strike my life. I'm sure Mickey has had tragedy strike his life in some shape or form. We all go through adversity and we all face tragedy and we all respond in different ways. You have taken your tragedy and it's galvanized your activism and your advocacy. Can we start there? Can we start with what made you decide that you were going to make your voice heard and make your actions felt in lieu of the tragedy of your nephew's demise?
Let me tell you a story. I moved from Rapid City, South Dakota to a little town called Gettysburg, South Dakota. First of all, if you know anything about where I'm talking about, which you probably don't, that's crazy, okay? Because the only time I see a black dude is when I look in the mirror most of the time. You know what I'm saying? And I wave at myself. So I'm isolated out here. So whenever I see incidents that happen around the country of police violence or black on white crime, I just get so mad because I grew up in a little old town called Goldsboro, North Carolina. Poor, real poor. We pooped in a bucket, threw it out the back. When it got warm, you'd take it and put it in a hole. No indoor plumbing, no amenities. We had 15 people in a 3-room house, but guess what? We had more love than you will ever know. That's probably the happiest I've ever been because I didn't know any better. And I got to look at my mama. Now, I'm taking you to 2020. I'm going to take you on March 26th, not March 25th, because March 26th is when I find out. Imagine Mickey Shanks sitting down doing the same thing you enjoy doing every day. I sold all of our stuff in Rapid City. We moved to Gettysburg, bought a motel. My wife's from here. Built a nice 7,000 square foot house because, for all intents and purposes, y'all, that boy that used to sit on that porch in rural North Carolina, where everybody was poor around him, where he didn't even have Kool-Aid a lot of times because you didn't have sugar. You ate fatback meat. You cut ham meat that y'all preserved. You cut the worms out of it. You boiled it. Then you ate it. And I own a motel. I have pretty much sold so many vacuum cleaners, which is probably the hardest job in the world. And I come ahead. I'm ahead, man. So all I'm doing, and I remodeled this motel because it was one of those things. If you buy it, let's see how
Right.
bad you want it. You're gonna do all the work on it, and you're gonna save yourself $300,000-$400,000. And I did that in a year. And I sat back in that happy place that I have been searching for my whole life of being free. Sit across the parking lot and watch people come in, fishermen, hunters, every day. So I'm good. I can sit right there and watch my 5-year-old or my 7-year-old grow and be with them every day. And I wake up one morning to get them dressed. And I look at television, as I do every morning. I eat me a couple of croissants. And I'm seeing this black dude getting just scuffed up again. Last time it was Ahmaud Arbery. Then it was Bree Taylor. And I'm thinking, oh my God, won't somebody help this guy, man? They're going to kill him. Stop, man, come on. The phone rang, Shank. It was my sister. She says, did you? I hung the phone up. I sat back in that chair and I watched one of my favorite people go from begging, screaming, pleading, suffering. And at the exact time of 8:25 and 15 seconds, he dies. I see this. Now, I saw this at the same time that 600 other million people saw this. When you first laid eyes on that video, you knew he wasn't leaving. You knew the only way the black dude was going to leave in this movie is if he died. That there was no questions asked if he was going to get up and get in the car, because you knew he had to die. So, man, I saw that. I sat back and I saw that, and Shanks, when I heard him, help me, come in, I can't breathe. It was literally like I just pinned myself to my seat. I sat back and I thought of all these things: sister, him as a baby, him playing, him picking me up, shaking me up. The last time I seen him, all these things come flashing before my eyes. Then all those other things come flashing before my eyes. Shanks and Mickey. Those I stuttered when I was in school from the 1st to the 4th grade. They put me on the slow bus because back in the old days, if there was something going on and they didn't know because technology or education, they just think, you just a retard. That's what I was called. So, man, I got my butt beat by everybody because I'm a black dude with freckles. In early 70s, so the black kids beat me up, the white kids beat me up. They piss in the toilet and put my head in it because I was poor.
Right.
They didn't care. I'm nothing. And so I seen all of that come before my eyes. And as of that moment, when I sat back and saw that, I came to a conclusion that your babies, Mickey's babies, my babies, Black lives matter because my life matters. Your life matters, Shank. White lives matter because Anthony's life matters. Mickey's life matters. All lives matter because we're here on the same place for a short amount of time. Why in the world did somebody make a decision to have us, the kick. The punching bag. Why did somebody make a decision that we would be that particular race that was degraded, put down, oppressed, not given the same opportunities to flourish like everybody else? So, with that being said, I have been going 199 miles an hour to spread justice and equality, my friend. Because let me tell you something. If you ever, I know everybody's had trials and tribulations, but if you ever sit back and see one of your favorite people of all time that you've loved your whole life, no matter good or bad, bad or poor, that you loved your whole life unconditionally, lay there and get killed like a dog in the street by somebody because of the color of his skin or $19 and 100 pennies, it flips a switch. It flips a switch, my brother. And I'm telling you, you can look on my Facebook and it's 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and people go like, dog, do you ever sleep? I don't sleep. I can't sleep because I'm always trying to figure out a way where I can be, who I can communicate with, so I can spread these words of peace and equality, man. Because let me tell you something, Shanks, and you know this, being a black man growing up in this world is hell. No matter where you are, how much money you got, eventually somebody's gonna show you what they think of you and how they've been taught to feel
It
about
appears
you.
that way for sure.
I got my wife a birthday present. She that big body
Nice.
Cadillac, and I pulled up at a parking lot the other day, Menards, Walmart or Menards, and beside me was a '79 Chevette, and I look over, and the old girl reaches over. Didn't have automatic locks back then, man, and she reaches over and she locks the door. And I'm laughing, and my wife's like, "Come on, man, leave her alone, Selwyn, leave her alone." I'm like, "No, I ain't leaving this alone." And I waited 15, 20 minutes before she got out, and she got out. She's probably, I don't know, 65, 70 years old. And when she got out, I jumped right out. I go like, "Ma'am, hopefully I parked my vehicle far enough away from yours so it won't skin it up or anything. I'm sorry, ma'am." And she looked at me like, "You better have."
Wow.
So why does the poorest person, the poorest white person, think that they're better than any black person?
And that kind of everyday moment you just described creates a culture, right?
Yeah.
Where we see it lead to these larger episodes of just violence and attack and murder. So, I mean, what you're describing is not something I think someone can brush off and just say, oh, maybe she didn't mean it. Maybe she was having a bad day, right? Which is the kind of excuse you hear people make for these kind of daily microaggressions. But you're describing like trauma upon trauma, right? How even the little ones.
All day, man. All day, every day. Oh, buddy, you want to hear trauma? You want to hear trauma? Have you Googled me?
Oh, yeah.
Do you see the flag?
Yeah. The Confederate flag police logo. That's what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yes, I am, my brother. Let me tell you.
Amazing.
I've been coming around here for 21, 22 years. We got a farm outside of town. My mom-in-law just turned 78 years old yesterday. She's been living here every day of her life. My wife is from here. Whitney Engineering School. We had some baby clothing stores, tutu stores, vacuum cleaner stores. And yes, y'all, you can call me crazy. I was married for 12 years. And at the bright, tender young age of 48 years old, the Lord blessed me with a little angel.
Congrats, man. That's beautiful.
Congrats, man. Just tell me I'm crazy, man. What's wrong with you?
That's a blessing, man. That's
I'm
a blessing.
to get crazier now. My 50th birthday present was a little young man called Jacoby Jones.
Wow.
My wife waited for 2 weeks. 2 weeks to have a cesarean so she could have it on my mother's birthday.
Wow.
That's what kind of girl I got. Well, with that being said, honey, I don't want my babies to be raised in Rapid City where you got to lock your doors. I ain't locked my doors in 3 or 4 years, man. You don't lock your cars or anything. And if it was good enough for my wife to grow up in, and it's been good enough for me to go hang around and laugh and joke for the last 18, 19, 20 years, let's do it. So, we built us a nice house, and we come here. And so it's like, okay, I'm going to stop selling vacuums. Let's get in the motel. And it was, if you buy it, now we're not paying anybody to work on it. So if we buy it, you're going to do the work. I'm free. I'm free, Mickey and Shanks. I seen that silver lining in that cloud that where I come from, there's no silver lining. It's all poverty. It's all suffering. You suffer from the day you're born to the day you die because there's no other way to get out of that place. You got to want to win. Winning don't come easy. You got to want to win. You got to prepare yourself to win. You got to make right choices and right decisions. And granted, I have not made all the right choices and right decisions, but
none of us have.
I made enough that this day and time, I'm just really okay. But we buried my nephew. I get in the car and young fella calls me and he says, "Hello, Mr. Jones." I was like, "How are you doing, man?" Man, I know this is not the best time to probably bring this to your attention, but do you realize that you have a Confederate flag on your police uniform? Man, you crazy as hell. Nah, you're crazy, man. He's like, "Man, I'm telling you." Well, obviously, if you live in a small town like this, you know everybody's social security number, everybody's address, everybody's phone number. So I called the mayor. "Hey, partner, what's going on, man?" "Nothing, man. How you feeling?" "I'm feeling okay, but I'm uneasy about something." I said, "What's that?" "Miles." They call me Miles here. "Do we have a Confederate patch on our police uniform?" "Ah, man, don't worry about that. That's only racist for those that want to be racist for."
This is
What'd you say?
Gettysburg, South Dakota.
Gettysburg,
correct?
South Dakota. I was like, "What'd you say?" He's like, "Yeah, man, the police chief before this one put it up there." I was like, "Dog, because I'm George Floyd's uncle, in light of this situation, you don't want nobody wearing no Confederate patch and somebody stops them and they stop a car and somebody see that as hateful as people are now.
Yeah.
They'll see that Confederate patch coming through the window. That's a bad situation."
It spooked the shit
You know
out
what,
of
man?
me.
Don't worry. You know what, man? It's really none of your business. The patch is not going anywhere. "Okay, buddy. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. Do what you do." So all of a sudden, there was a busload of people coming down to this town. They deputized the whole damn volunteer fire department. They closed all the stores down, all the businesses down, and all these folks are riding around town with guns looking for people to come and destroy the town because my nephew got murdered by somebody. Well, they had an emergency council meeting. And in that emergency council meeting, I think a young man that lives 3 or 4 doors down from me stands up and says, "Hey, man." Now, keep in mind, these are people that I go to T-ball games with, that we play soccer with,
Of
and
course.
we see these people every day. A damn T-ball game is like a barbecue because everybody's there.
Right.
And these people, "Hey, Miles, how you doing?" "Good job, man. You're working hard." Ain't nobody working harder than you are right now, man. I'm shoveling snow off wood, Shanks. Black folks don't give a hoot about snow. And I'm shoveling snow off wood so I can fix a motel. And in a matter of a second, that went from Selwyn Jones, "You are one man, you working your butt off for you and Joey," to "You the biggest nigga that's ever lived."
You're troublemaker now. Now you're making trouble.
You know how it goes. If you don't agree with the man, when they make the decision, it's all about power and control. You ain't nothing. So they put memes on the line that I sell dope. Wait, you care more about a piece of cloth than you care about selling dope to kids. And my brother, let me tell you, a dude, my next door neighbor stands up and says, "I don't have a problem about taking the flag down, but why would we do that because a dead nigga's uncle lives in town?"
Wow.
Let me tell you something, partner.
Wow.
I could show you Texas, 400-500 of them, of white folks saying, if they didn't call me a nigger, or didn't say I was a drug dealer, or they didn't say go back to Africa, they thumbs upped it. They thumbs upped it. Now, bro, let me tell you something, man. I've been living my whole 54 years fighting tooth and nail to try to win a battle. And it's a damn shame that hatred is that deep seated in people's hearts for a man to see his nephew and for the whole world to change the dynamics of everyday life because somebody murdered my nephew in the middle of the streets like an animal because of the color of his skin.
Right.
I would prefer to think of it as the color of his skin because I just believe that my nephew's life was worth more than $20.
Right.
Oh,
you know what I'm
100%.
saying? And they treat me like I'm absolutely nothing. Go to Africa. You don't have a right to make any decisions in this community. And you know, man, let me tell you, I've grown up my whole life having to negotiate for life. Shanks, you have too, my brother.
Indeed.
You have negotiated your whole life and how you do things because we've got to work around those people. I used to do home shows to get leads, Shanks and Mickey.
Yeah.
And when I sat there, nobody stopped to talk to me. So I learned really quick, I've got to put a Caucasian person at that table. And when I put that Caucasian person at that table, I got a whole bucket full of leads. And what we would do is we would tell them that a Caucasian person, that person that sounded on the phone, they didn't even have to ask, hi, how are you doing today? That person on that phone was supposed to show up. And I would always show up and say that, hey, man, Sarah had a sick baby today. Kevin's baby's sick, but I was in a neighborhood. I thought I'd stop by to get your opinion on one of our cleaning products. And boys, I've got 4-5 months of 70 sales under my belt. I've got a good 10 years of 25 sales every month under my belt. And I had to play that role.
Yeah. And those are the little subtle things that, folks don't realize that we have to do. That story reminds me of like being in college and trying to rent apartments, and I'd have to have like a friend with a less I don't know, bassier or African sounding accent call to get folks to call back, because I'd call all day and none of these property management companies would call me back until I'd get my boy Stevenson. I'm like, Stevenson, call these folks, and he'd call and then they'd call back.
How are y'all doing today, fellas? Are y'all doing fine? Thank you.
I'm feeling a lot better since I talked to you, to tell you the truth.
Now, do you see that, Shanks and Mickey? Hi, how are you? I have played that and done that.
Wow.
Yeah,
for
we all
so
have.
many years.
We all have.
And I get to that house, man, and I would make remarks. Hey, I bet you didn't think you have a black dude cleaning your house in 2015, did you? And if I saw their teeth, I stuck a fork in their ass. If I could make you laugh or make you smile, and that's one thing that me, Perry, and a lot of my cousins and family members know how to do, because it's always a way to take the things off that racial divide.
Yeah,
because I can make you laugh.
Yeah.
I can make you laugh to take that tension down.
Yeah.
And once I see your teeth, you're done. Stick a fork in your buddy and a nice and slice, because I'm getting that money out of that house. But guess what, man? We're gonna see if we can't help you out here.
Yeah.
And I take refuge in talking trash in a Caucasian guy's house, and he's got the big John Deere. He's got 4 or 5 big John Deeres. And they'll look at you, because let me tell you, women don't have it no better than we do. Because I've seen many, many, many farmers look at their wives and go, "You don't need that. That's my money." Simple. A farmer, rancher, man, white man. Excuse me, Mickey. No disrespect. can go out and buy 5. I seen $10,000 shotguns. And when he walks in the house, it is, look at my gun. She walks in the house with a $300 or $400 purse, and she says, "Look at my purse, honey." And he says, "How much did it cost?" $300. We don't need a $300 purse. Take it back. It's all power and control. This is all fueled by power and control.
And that Confederate flag is the perfect emblem for that, right? You
Yep.
just described all these tactics and games that you had to engage in to show that, even though you were a black business owner, it worked better for you sometimes to put a white face on the company.
It always worked better to put a
and
white
yet
face
these
on the
guys
company.
can walk around with the Confederate flag and say, "Oh, it's just a piece of cloth."
It's a piece of cloth, my brother. Let me
Or
tell you.
celebrating our history. It's not racist. It's just celebrating our history.
And I am sure going to try like heck to get something on legislation that if you're donning that Confederate flag, that's a hate crime, because every time you see somebody showing that flag, they got nothing good to say. They have absolutely nothing good to say. And man, we had a Klan rally here. They were going on line. Old dude named Red Rider. He's a lone out. I'm the Lone Ranger. I'm an outcast. And what I got is we gonna go down to Gettysburg, South Dakota, on the 25th of June, and we gonna have us a patriot party, because there's an old boy down there that thinks he's running things, that's telling us folks what to do. Who gave him that power?
And this is in response to the Confederate flag.
Yeah, they had a rally. They had a Klan rally, man. And we left because it was my sister's birthday. They had a lady park in my parking lot. No, she actually rented a room here. And when we left, they stuck a flag in her vehicle, on the back of her vehicle. It was like one of those flags that, oh God, it's probably 10 feet long. And they were going through, my wife said, "Miles, something's going on." I was like, what's up? She's like, everybody's asking people if they taking pictures of our motel. What are they taking pictures of? She hit the video camera. She had backed her car up in the middle of the parking lot, so every white person around could take pictures of it and laugh about it on the internet.
Wow.
Well, with your hotel in the background.
With my hotel in the background.
Wow.
Man, so
that's intimidation, right? She's trying to.
My follow up from that, Uncle Selwyn, I was going to say is, do you fear for your safety? I mean, this is some pretty tense stuff. And
I won't go running at night. I used to go running at night. I won't go running at night. I won't ride my Wildcat at night. I won't do anything at night, because when people are this blatant, that put it in your face, basically what they're saying, "I don't care about you, nigga. Go back to Africa." And I don't know why people tell me to do that. It's too damn hot over there. I'm not going over there with 136 degrees in the shade. And they'll call me, and they call us monkeys, Shank. But let me ask you a question, partner. Do you know what January 6th was?
Right.
Have you ever seen a black dude climb a 5-story building without a rope or ladder? Shanks! Huh? Shanks! So we got a Zoom bomb. Niggas, you monkey. I like, hold on, partner. You ain't never seen a black dude to climb a 5-story building without a damn rope or ladder, so I'm calling you a white spider monkey, fella.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing about the go back to Africa thing is, one, we were here first, and two, we didn't necessarily volunteer to come here. So,
let me tell you, Shank.
Very good points.
You know who the toughest person? You know who the toughest people were in this whole thing? The people that made it on the boat, that had to stay in feces and blood and urine. Think about that. They had to travel weeks under the bow of a boat. People dead beside you, all over you, feces, urine. And then when they get here, you get taken out. And you get chained and shackled and beat. The English doctor said in the early 1900s that a black man could endure more pain.
Right.
They said that our brain was a little bit bigger than a monkey's. Therefore,
You know, the NFL is still using that junk science.
Yeah.
man, you know what?
Clearly.
Don't go there. I used to play football for a living. Don't go there. Don't go there. And they said that we could only be subservient if the right measures were used to make us obedient. That means to put that whip on us. Tell me something, Mickey. Who came up with this idea that black folks should be kicked like dogs and put down? In 1941, they wanted a middle class, so the GI Bill came out, and the only people that got the GI Bill was the Caucasian sailors. But what they did for us, Shanks, they did us a favor now. They built subsidized housing. You know what that's called, Shanks?
The PJs.
The ghettos.
The
So
projects.
I reckon what they were doing, let's put all of them in the same place, send them to a bad school.
It's
with
easy
bad
to
teachers.
control them that way.
Sure.
Power and control, my brother. You put them all in the same place, make them dumb, stupid. Then you put drugs in the damn neighborhood to destroy us. From 1986 to 1996. And granted, nobody told you to take drugs. Nobody told you to smoke crack. But poor people seek refuge.
Well, everywhere. That's not just black poor people.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
But they didn't put it in the white
Well,
neighborhoods.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
They didn't start getting bad on arresting black folks as long as they were selling crack in the neighborhood. If when the white folks started liking crack, when they said, "Oh, whoa, you can't mess with our race like that. That's meant for you." Do y'all remember Oliver North?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Remember when they called Oliver North a damn liar, and he did not know what he's talking about, and they destroyed his life? Guess what? Oliver North was telling the truth. Think about this, Mickey.
Yeah.
In Shanks, 1986 to 1996, they were sentencing people 1 to 100. 1 gram of rock, 100 grams of cocaine.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you who made that law, okay? Y'all should know who made that law. In 2004 to the present, they don't, can you hear me, y'all?
Oh yeah.
They don't send them to jail. They send them to rehab. Why in the world? Why are other people's lives worth more than ours? Why is there 2.5 million people in prison? But we are 4% of the world's population, but we incarcerate 45% of the incarcerated people, and out of that 45% of the crime that we hold, 1.2 million are black. Now, how can we be 0.2 of the population and commit 35% of the crime in the world?
That's a good question. That's a good question. And it sounds close. I guess you're answering my initial question because, based on all of the knowledge that you shared in the first few minutes, it seems like, this activism bug, or at least this awareness bug, has been with you the entire time.
I have contemplated and thought about this, Shanks, my whole life, and every year got disrespected. And my mama told me something a long time ago. My mama had 17, she had 13 babies. I'm the baby of 17. My mama was poor her whole life, but you couldn't have told her that she was poor because of the heart and the love and the respect that she gave us. We used to go riding through the rich neighborhoods. We used to look at Christmas lights and stuff, and I always noticed my mama crying. I never knew what she was crying about, Shanks and Mickey, until about 8 months ago. My mama wasn't crying because she was happy for these lights. My mama was crying because that was her way of showing us if we did the right thing, this is what we could have. And, brother, I've been waiting for this my whole life, Shanks, my whole life. And whenever George died, I have not looked back. Every day, all day, brother, if you're up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, You get on Facebook, send me a friend request, and you'll see that light green because I can't stop.
Mm.
I cannot. And boy, let me tell you, my agent, my manager, they're like, Selwyn, what are you doing? And I tell them, you know what, man? You obviously are on some other stuff. What I'm on is a communication path because it takes four things, y'all. Don't ever forget this. It's going to take four things, and four things only are going to be the only way we can fix this: communication, conversation, education, and nothing changes unless somebody gets pissed off. Because looting, that's out. Uh, uh, angry marches or hatred, that's out. That's what the world was built off of: is anger and hatred against us. Think about this: rape, killed, murdered, cleaned their houses, raised the kids, made them rich. We did everything that we were told to do. And guess what? We still have to negotiate for our life, for our baby's life. 55 years ago, I'll be 55 in 6 days? I couldn't even go and sit in a restaurant. And I went to war and risked my life for somebody that didn't give a damn about me. But I can't go eat in the same restaurant. I can't go and use the bathroom where you use the bathroom at because my black butt was going to give you cooties because I sat there and you got to sit your white butt down there. I don't understand this, y'all. Maybe I'm crazy as hell, which I have been called before. But
you sound like you make a lot of sense to me.
How can people hate a certain race of people? And it's because this ain't a DNA, but it almost seems like it's DNA. My baby goes to school. Jacoby Miles Jones, pretty little boy. And we got shirts for George Floyd made. And he goes to school and he says, this is my daddy's shirt that we made for my cousin George Floyd. Derek Chauvin hurt him in Minneapolis. And our police officers aren't bad. And my daddy's advocating for justice and equality so we can all just get along. Well, later on that afternoon, my wife gets a call and she's like, Selwyn, we got to go to the school. Well, I don't associate, y'all, I literally sit in my parking lot. And the only time I leave is when I go home or when I'm flying out of town. I got to drive 60 miles to get gas in my vehicle because the dude at the store said, you know what niggers do? They sneaky. So we call, my wife goes down there and the teacher says, Joey, don't worry about it. I got this. And 36 people are in there and they were literally going to pick on a little boy. They were literally asking for that little black boy not to be able to come to school because he told their kids that police officers are bad. Well, the teacher, I got to give her kudos. She recorded it, y'all. And she played it to him. And everybody's sitting with their mouth open. Oh, Joey had called me, and Joey's like, Miles, you need to come down here because, I'm scared.
Joey's
my wife.
Basing that based off of what he heard at home. So he automatically said, hey, he's talking bad about the cops because that's what Joey was told in his house.
Oh, and anyhow, Joey says, come down here. So I come down there, and I have not heard my condolences from nobody in town. and Joey didn't hear sorry. And I just easily said this, kids. Hey, listen, I don't give a damn if you redneck like me or not. I ain't did nothing to you, but somebody murdered my nephew. But what I'm telling you is the three things don't lie in this world: alcohol, babies, and anger. So what I'm telling you is this: if my babies come home and say that one of these young babies said something derogatory to them, I'm gonna show up at your house, and you're gonna have to throw your damn hands up because babies can play all day by themselves, and until they are tainted, they're fine. So yeah. So anyhow, we just know, man, that you leave the babies out of it. Y'all big ignorant country people that think that it's your world. That's fine. You can have it, because man, I don't mind being isolated. I really don't, because I've seen this. And when you come from where I come from, you just know my wife, Selwyn, does a lot. And I always, Shanks, you know how we are when we go around people. We always got that guard up, because we always know that they're capable. And let a white guy get a couple drinks in him. I've been in bars. I smell a coon in the bar.
Wow.
I go sit right beside him, Shanks. I'm like, damn, this one you smell and I smell good, because this damn blueberry Tiffany I got cost $400 a bottle.
Now, Uncle Selwyn, I want to ask this because I want to. I got so many questions.
Go ahead.
And I want to get to your nephew and his life specifically.
Mhm.
But before that, one would ask, why put yourself through that, Uncle Selwyn? Why stay in Gettysburg, South Dakota, and be susceptible to the ignorance? And I understand, and I know the answer may be like, well, I'm not gonna let nobody run me out of my place. But how do you, I guess, resolve that? Like, I'm staying, I don't care.
Shanks, let me tell you something, buddy. When you grow up, how I grew up with nothing, and you got your piece of the pie, I'm not gonna let nobody take or run me from my pie. And Shanks, I'll be just totally honest with you, man. I'm tired. I could sit here in my parking lot, and because my favorite three people I get to see every day, I get to see smile, grow up, laugh. And my wife is boss. She be bossing me all the time. So, I got to let her get a little bit in. And Shanks, I'm okay. I'm telling you, man. I sit in my parking lot and I look out across the street, and my heart's been broken years ago. My heart is broken over Perry. So pretty much where I'm at is I'm just okay. I'm just okay. Because I know that I got a bigger fight than the crap that these people deal me with, because they're all cowards, Shanks. You see them in the dude at the hardware store, Kevin. He calls me. He's like, man, you know what? I want you to do me a favor. I was like, what's that? He's like, man, Miles, I like you. I've been doing you 15 plus years, man. You ain't never did nothing to me. But what I'm gonna ask you, if you need something from the hardware store, if Joey can't come get it, just call me and I'll bring it by. Because if people see you coming in the store, they always asking, why you still letting that nigga come in the store?
And that's that speaks to something that we talk about a lot on this podcast in terms of allyship and what being an ally is. And I always say it's the folks who, may not subscribe to the ignorance, but who allow the ignorance.
Yeah.
That's just as much as a problem as the ignorant ones. So
And
you have to adjust your behavior because he's afraid to stand up to the ignorant people.
yeah, and because me and him, I've got this knack of being a person that you could talk to, as y'all can attest to. Like, y'all been talking to me for years. I have that knack. And man, I can stumble all around this. Shanks, am I mad? Am I hurt? Am I disappointed that I get to be 55 years old to have pretty much what I want and need, and I am still treated like a boy? But nobody treats me anyway, because a dude stayed in my motel the other day, and he was telling me about his brother. You know, his brother. Oh man, my brother didn't know how to manage no damn money. His ranch is getting taken away from him now. Down here where we are, if you don't pay your taxes, they put your ass on blast right in the front page of the paper. And anyhow, guess what? The mother of this dude, 6 months ago. You remember when the little black guy got killed in North Carolina?
Yeah.
The dude walks out, shoots him, and goes back to his house, and the police didn't have to look for him or anything. He knew where he was. Well, anyhow, these people said, well, that's worse than George Floyd. Well, ma'am, I differ to say because we knew who killed my nephew, but it took the world being in an uproar to get there till the arrested. Listen here, nigger, you don't know what you're talking about. Sell drugs. Guess what? She need $21,000. Her brother-in-law stands here yesterday and says, man, they ain't got a damn thing. My brother drank all his mess up, and they owe $21,000 on the damn ranch, or the city gonna take it, and I don't even want it. I was like, I will be damned, Shanks, Mickey. I put online yesterday. Hey, I probably could give you that $21,000 so you can keep your ranch, you mouthy ass old lady. She talked to me like a dog. Now she losing her ranch. She can't come up with 21 grand for her ranch. And then I'm the ignorant one now. I'm the ignorant one. Shanks and Mickey. I'm the ignorant one.
Well, speaking of that, Uncle Selwyn, and speaking of, just that perception, I wanted to, because what happens often when a black man or a black woman loses their life is the smear campaign. It becomes all about the drugs in the system and this and that and that and that and that. I want you to have the opportunity to speak to our audience. I want you to talk about your sister, George Floyd's mother, first of all, and your relationship with your sister, and then tell us about George.
My sister was named Larcenia Floyd. I think she was number 6 in the line of 17. And she kept a smile on her face, buddy, bigger than the damn sun. Her and my mom, all of them was raised by this old country gal named Selwyn Jones that literally didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. But she equipped us with more love, buddy, than you will ever, ever, ever know in your life. Because when you don't have nothing else, you got to have love. And my sister battled her whole life. Everybody wants to leave North Carolina and go up north. You want to go to Chicago. You want to go to New York. Well, a lot of times what happened is, and Shanks, you know about this, is you get a bunch of green is a blade of grass girl to go up to New York, and some knucklehead get them, and and they just talk that fast talk to them, and next thing you know,
I've seen it, unfortunately.
Yeah. They talk that fast talk to them, and that thing you know, you in a situation, and you got 2 or 3 babies, and you got somebody that don't give one damn about you. Well, bingo. So they moved to Fayetteville. That's where Perry was born, and man, any given day, we would have 13, 14 people at our house. We didn't even have window sashes for our windows. We had plastic. People could stick their hands in there. But yet, everybody wanted to come to Big Mama's house because you knew that there was going to be love and respect. And my sister was a wonderful soul, but she trusted the wrong person, and it broke her heart. And she thought Houston was the way to go. Man, let me tell you something, partner. My sister suffered her whole damn life. Government housing, food stamps, welfare, the baby's taking medicine so they get a check for her to survive. And one of her biggest problems is I have a niece, and she's not necessarily doing the right thing, either one of them. But one of them decided that she would get involved with the epidemic that started in the 80s. she ain't never stopped. She had 9 babies that she had brought home. She'd have them. She'd leave the hospital and go back to smoking crack, and my sister would go there and pick the babies up. So my sister was fighting her whole life. She fought to do the best she could. Well, that's what the problem was with Perry. Perry, just like me, laughing, joking. If you seen that video in the store of him before all this stuff went down, he's in there laughing, shaking, trying to kiss a girl. Yeah, that's Uncle Selwyn. That's Uncle Selwyn. I have always been everybody's favorite uncle because I'm around all the kids his age.
Right.
Man, I used to lock them in the trunk of the car, tie them on the top of the car, bury them up to their neck, and leave them for, an hour, 2 or 3, 4. Anyhow, we ain't talking about that stuff, man. But I've always been that uncle. And he, phenomenal athlete. Steven Jackson, him played the same high school team.
Yeah.
My boy Nasty. Perry flowed 3 foot from the basket, son. Shit, you might well go and look the other way. Because he gonna do something to you. Quick. He gonna do something to you. And all of that changed when you see your mama suffering, and she was suffering with you, but then you see your sister keep doing the same thing. You know what? You know the definition of insanity, y'all. Continuously doing the same thing, expecting a different result.
Right.
Well, guess what? She's insane. And being the oldest boy, come on, Shanks, you know what you do. We come out of mama.
You had to get to it. Yeah.
No one come to mama, So I'm going to pass up. I'm going to put all my hopes and dreams in the one thing that gives me refuge in my mind, the one thing that makes me different, special. Now, you know what the ghetto do. Ghetto eats you up. You be ghetto superstar.
Right.
You might be on the video with Scarface and all the boys, but at the end of the day, they get to go home to their place, and you get to go home to yours. And just for a minute, you feel, hey, man, I know, I'm something. And then you start head back to that house,
come back to
and reality sets in. Damn. Well, I'm going to drop out of school. I'm going to take care of my mama. I cussed him out. I talked to him like he was a dog. I said everything that I could say because some of the things that he's going through, I've been through. Been there, done that. Perry, you got to make a decision that's based on your life. And I know that that's the toughest thing in the world to pretty much have somebody tell you, you know what, man, she made her bed. You let her lay in it and you can get her a bed. Because our life is about his decisions, kids. If you make the wrong one, it could last you forever. If you make the right one, it could last you forever. And it's the stupidest thing in the world that anybody ever thought of. I'm going to take care of my family by selling dope. Tell me anything that's more stupider than that.
Well, I mean, at the time and in the position, those walls are closing in. You feel like there's no other way.
Shanks,
unfortunately, a lot of us make that decision.
Reality is this. You know that all it takes is one hit, one pull, one sip, and the weak are ate up by that monster.
That's a fact.
And guess what, my brother? A lot of athletes are easily controlled by things. And guess what, buddy? You drop out of school to help your mama. And it always starts good. But suppose you have a good lick. And man, look, I'm good covered. Look at this pack I got. Shit, I'm going to celebrate. Guess what, brother? That demon lasted until May 25th at 8:25 and 16 seconds because he moved to Minneapolis to change his life.
Right.
Now, you think about this, Shanks and Mickey. I am 20 years from making a decision that changed my whole life. And I have did nothing to help that cause. My original decision was to help my mama, to help her a better life. And I've been to prison for 8 years. I have. You can lie to anybody, Shanks or Mick. The one person you can't lie to, you got to look in that mirror every day.
True.
And you figure 20 years past Shanks, and that eats at a man's heart and soul. Man,
Right.
God knows, man. My whole life I've ruined because of this stuff, and you can't stop. And what happens, Shanks and Mickey? That person that you loved so much that you have disrespected and didn't do what you were supposed to do. Insult to injury. Shanks, guess what happens? She dies. And
Right. All you have is your life left now.
all those things that you wanted to do, that you thought about doing, when you thought you were making the right decision, you did none of them. Then she dies.
Right.
I go to the funeral. We had to help pay for the funeral. He was 30 minutes late for the funeral. When I see him coming in the door, I got up and I went to the back of the church house. And obviously, you know, that wasn't a pleasant conversation. Once again, the person that you've loved more than anybody in your life, that you say you love, with all your heart and soul. I always know this, kids. You show people how you feel about them by how you treat them. I don't give a damn what else you say. You show people how you feel about them by how you treat them. And he ain't treat my sister the way she was supposed to be treated. And you think about that. And you move to Minneapolis and think you're trying to make that change, and she dies. Now, oh my God, man. I let my mama down and I'll never see her again. And I broke her heart and I disappointed her, and she lived rough and hard. And that broke his soul, spirit, heart.
Wow.
Hell, it broke mine to even know about it. And I knew it. And I talked to him about it. I knew how he felt. Man, you know what, bro? Everybody made mistakes. Unfortunately, you got to live with this one, man. All you can do, man, is make it better. And she be looking down, smiling at you, man. You know, at least
Well, it wasn't never too late.
Never too late. At least you can make a change now.
Right.
And bro, he was trying to do the right thing. And you know, man, demons on a heavy heart. And you meet the reason why he left Houston is because he knew that, hey, if I tell people that all the time, if he knew that there was love there, he'd have been in Houston. Now, when you break off and say, I'm going to go 1,500 miles away to see if I can rewrite this before the end of time, that's showing guts. That's showing intestinal fortitude. I waited.
Absolutely.
It took until my mama died for me to do this, but at least I'm going to do it.
Do something for himself. Right.
Yep. And man, this is what I used to tell people, brother. I could be anywhere in the world. You could throw me in the middle of the jungle, butt naked, and I could find whatever I wanted. All you got to do is look. And all I got to say is, I just wish he would have made better decisions in life. And here we lead up to May the 25th.
Yeah.
Obviously, that wasn't the neighborhood that he should have been in. Obviously, he had a relationship with these people because everybody knew him. And this is what I want to think, y'all. I know this. I know that we remember the space shuttle blowing up in 1986.
Challenger. Yeah, we're old enough. I saw it on TV.
Yep. I remember.
I watched
it. We remember Desert Storm, don't we?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We remember 2001, don't we?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We never ever forget the day that George Floyd died.
No, that's a fact.
Because that changed the path of the world, brother. So, with that being said, this is the only way that I have to look at it, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
David Chauvin had to be there. First of all, he should have been fired 10 years ago.
So
With
they
18
say.
write-ups.
Yeah.
Evidence
Number
says
two,
so.
Darnella Frazier, 17-year-old girl, a lot of courage.
Yeah.
Her cousin wanted a pop. So she had to be there. She had to walk her baby there.
Mm-hmm.
George Floyd, because George Floyd had a good heart and a good soul and really believed in the Lord. His path was ran. He did not achieve and do the things that the Lord expected him to do. And all he was doing was just making a shambles of his life, embarrassing himself, humiliating himself. He OD'd a month before then. So that demons are bad. So with that being said, the Lord said on May the 25th at 8:25 and 16 seconds, I'm going to change the world, and I'm going to use a good-hearted, good-souled person that unfortunately made some mistakes because of addiction, mental health. But I'm going to use you to change the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
And all the quasars had to line up, and they lined up. And what we saw in the meantime was how a black man, woman, child gets dominated by power and control because of the color of their skin or what kind of house you live in, the color of your hair. Now, keep in mind, y'all, racism, police brutality, only 1,700 people get killed a year by police brutality. So that's just a little bit. But it's the systemic racism that I have a problem with.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know,
Right.
do you know that in New Jersey, the average Caucasian family's wealth is over $270,000?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what a black person's wealth is?
I'm gonna guess it's less than a sixth of that.
$6,000.
Wow.
$506,000.
That's much more of a disparity than even
Yeah.
the nationwide numbers, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and how do we turn this around? Communication, conversation, education, and irritation. If you have a friend and they are throwing out hate, if they are your friend, they can take, hey, man, don't do that.
Yeah.
You don't need to say that because that ain't how it is. That ain't how we feel. And do I think I have a chance? I've got, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8,000 letters of mature people, Shank. Now, Mickey, I'm going to exclude you from this conversation right now.
Fair enough. Go for it.
I figure 55 on up, they don't give a damn about a black man, Shanks, because they were taught. And if you're 75 or 80, you 3 generations away from slavery, owning slaves.
Yeah.
I've got all of these people saying, Mr. Jones, thank you for what you're doing. 2 types of people, Mickey and Shank. One, I can't read. The other one, I don't want to read. That one that don't want to read happens to be the stupidest one.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
But now, guess what? The day that George Floyd died, everybody had to read because of COVID. They sat there and watched how a black man, and they've heard this over the years, you know, but they saw from start to finish what people think of us, Shank, and how they treat us.
Yeah.
Because he did everything that he was told to do. And the black guy died at the end of the movie, Shank.
Yeah. And the for years and decades, the ongoing narrative was you guys don't follow instructions, and that's why you end up dead. If you would just comply,
Shut up.
If you would just comply, everything will go right. And we've seen now in the last few years multiple instances of I'm doing everything you asked me to do, and the result is exactly the same.
You know, let me tell you a crazy one to me. This is crazy. Derek Chauvin's crazy. The craziest one to me, man, is I'm jogging down the same road I've been jogging down for, 10 years. And I look back, and there's 2 trucks with 3 people, white people, and a gun sticking out, and they're coming for me. And all I'm doing is jogging. Could you imagine what was going through that boy's brain?
Yeah.
He's turning around and looking, and then they're cutting him off.
Yeah.
Then they shoot him, and the police come there 15 minutes later, and they're trying to cover their story. Then the cop shows up and says, "Man, you do know he's breathing, right?" That's hatred, y'all.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How in the world did somebody put this kind of emotion in people's hearts that it's all right to shoot, kill, knee on the neck, lynch, hang, disrespect, humiliate because of the color of your skin, y'all?
And even beyond it being okay,
That don't matter.
They felt authorized in that moment. Like they deputized themselves in that moment and gave themselves the authority to cut him off and prevent him from doing whatever it is they thought he was doing. You know, it's no different than, neighborhood watch guy. And
vigilante justice.
Shanks, you know what that's called? It's called the Slave Patrol.
Yeah. Indeed.
It's called Slave Patrol, Shanks.
Indeed.
So, man,
That's a lynch mob, basically.
It's a lynch mob. No, they don't call it lynching. It's called Slave Patrol. That's what it was designed for, Mickey.
Where are your papers? Yeah.
It was designed to capture black folks and harm them if they was any kind of ruckus. And guess what they're doing now? George Floyd life, we have made changes. We need to get that George Floyd Policing Act passed because qualified immunity gotta go.
Right.
Absolutely.
It gotta go. But before that goes, I thought police officers were supposed to de-escalate instead of escalate. We know they want to go home. Hell, I want to go home. I want them to go home. But if what's his name, Harris? It was Harris in Atlanta that parked at the Wendy's drive-thru drunk.
Yeah.
First of all, you shouldn't be driving a car when you're that damn drunk. Seriously. Second of all, if you have his ID, you have his keys, you have his address, his ass is going to be one place in the morning with a headache.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
What they do in a high-speed chase, they let him go. Get him in the morning. Let him go home. Let him live. Perry had a baby. He had brothers. He had sisters. He had an uncle. He had cousins. He had aunts. They are human. Just because you got a problem don't mean that you should die in the middle of the street like a dog.
Yeah.
Just because the race horse don't race don't mean he's slaying a horse. Perry was a good dude, man. He had a good heart and a good soul. He just had a problem. And Shanks, in our race, if you got a problem when we were kids, how did mom and daddy handle it? They whooped that ass.
Yeah, they try to beat it out of you. Pray it out of you, or beat it out of you.
You could have a hair growing out your forehead, Mickey. Oh boy, we didn't get that. That's a demon hair.
Yeah.
And, mental health.
Yeah.
It's something, y'all, that, oh my God, I didn't realize that everybody that I grew up around was crazier than hell, Shanks.
It's true. It's true.
It's true down the country. Everybody's
is
crazy.
true.
People ticking and clicking.
They crazy in the city too,
Yep.
Uncle Selwyn.
And you know, so mental health, why not? Rhode Island has a beautiful situation that they've done to their police department. They'll send a guard out with a mental health worker because, brother, let me tell you, a lot of times all those people need just somebody to talk to.
It's very true.
Stephanie Babb's brother in Portland, Oregon, decorated soldier. He was having a mental breakdown. He was in Desert Storm. He called his counselor, and his counselor's talking to him, and they called to have a health check. Called the police to go to the health check him. He come to the door one time. Man, I'm talking to my counselor. Just leave me alone, man. You got all these lights going, disturbed.
Right.
You know, PTS.
Right.
Come to the thing the second time, man. Please, just leave me alone, man. You got the whole damn yard full of cars, riot gear, police standing there. He come to the door the third time. Shank, Mickey, guess what happens? They put one right between his eyes and blow the back of his head out right on the front porch. Because somebody decided that they would be judge, jury, and executioner.
Right. And that they could get away with it.
And
that
kill
it was
counselor.
okay to do.
And it was okay to do. And this is what gets me, Shanks. These folks around here be calling me the niggers and things online. They don't think I can read, Shanks, Mickey. They don't think I'm 6 foot. I used to play football for a living, 6'3", about 245. Pretty nice. They don't think I can read. They don't think I can see. I seen one of them at what was it, Menards 3 or 4 weeks ago. Boy, and he talked that douchebag. Why don't you uplift your town instead of putting your town down? It's a damn shame because any place else in the world, y'all, the town would probably have a statue for me already. Because I've made some tremendous steps. You seen that cute picture in the GQ magazine?
We did.
That's because of advocacy.
Yeah.
A dude talking that much and trying to express himself to that many people that they said, damn, you need to be in the Man of the Year edition. So I'm making a change.
Yeah.
And these people around here, I got a counselor, one school counselor. She called me. She'll text me online. And she said, Miles, I really appreciate what you're doing. You know, but please don't tell nobody that I text you. Because if I do, I'm probably going to get divorced and I'll get fired.
There it goes again. Yeah, silent support.
So, you know, man, I see this. I see it every day. And so I pull up and I see his buddy in the store. But his buddy would never tell me that he was with him. And I'm sitting out in the parking lot. Didn't know I got that new lag, huh? Here they come walking out. I was like, oh, boy, look at here. Shanks, Mickey, y'all know that when you see something you really want, you get really, really, really excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got so excited that I thought Kristen Brinkley was on the line. And I thought, oh boy, look at him, look at him, look at him. God knows, I'm telling you, son, I did a backflip, triple somersault. I walk over there, I was like, hey, partner, what's up? What's all that bullshit you be sending me on Instagram? What's up with that, man? And he was looking down on the guy, like, no. Don't do that now, partner. And I won't trying to be aggressive or anything, but you can say this. You can call me a nigga. Tell me to go to Africa. Call me a coon.
And say everything you say. Yeah,
and you don't think I'm going to see you?
Keep that energy.
You don't think when I see you, I'm not going to ask you what the hell wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, partner. Now, this is what I want to do. I want you to talk that same trash you be talking to me on the phone. And I thought we were friends. I've been doing this dude since he was 18 years old. Wow. 40 years old.
Wow.
Now, why you say that stuff to me? Because you know, man, I could have cared less about the damn flag. If I knew that this was going to cause this, I would have, it would have been totally different because my wife grew up here, and it hurts me that my wife and my mother-in-law thought that all these people were good-hearted people. These people weren't racist. And I told her, a white person get mad, you're just a nigga.
Yeah.
And Joe, tell me this. Why did you talk to me like that? I thought we're friends, man. Man, you're messing with the heritage. There ain't no damn heritage. There ain't nobody been in no damn Civil War, no Confederate War to live in Gettysburg, man. That's stupid.
Up in
That's
South
highway
Dakota.
control.
Well,
That's
how
highway control.
come when it comes to the Confederacy and that stuff, it's heritage, but then when it comes to slavery, they say we should get over it.
Yeah, get over it.
That they didn't have anything to do with what their ancestors did.
Sure.
How can it be both?
Because who's making the story up?
That's
And
right.
I looked at him like, dog, why?
Yeah.
And I'm trying, why? Why would you say that to me, man? Your boys, I taught your boys how to play football. You know, we've hit. Why?
That's why it's a piece of cloth when you complain about it, but it's proud heritage when somebody's waving it, right?
I know that you got to. I know you're a follower, but damn, man, I thought me and you were cool. And he kept sitting there with his head down. I was like, no, look me in the eye, man. You man enough talk that shit to me on Instagram, Facebook. Look me in the eye when I'm talking to you, boy. And his buddy said, man, are you crying? Joel, are you crying, man? It's like, man, you crying. I was like, now you see how I feel? Now imagine, because what I should do is I should slap the shit out of you for calling me a nigga. But you know what? I'm not going to do that. Shanks, Mickey, this is the bad thing about this whole situation, my brother. If I'd have slapped the shit out of him, I would have been, oh my God, I told you, black people are angry.
Yep, aggressive. You'd have been
And
all kinds of.
Then my whole movement would have been shut down.
Yeah. So once again,
gotta take it.
The onus is on you to behave in a certain manner, regardless of what you're being. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We're the only people that have to negotiate our life. Think about this, y'all. A white man, a whole damn town. I've got 500 screenshots of people that saying nigger. Niggers should be burned. Monkeys. Or either thumbs up. I got a lot that I can't even go cut the grass because the redneck piece of trash that lives next door will stand on his side of the property line. Dumbass nigga. Dope dealer. Snitch. Piece of shit. And I told the police, I was like, listen, man, let me tell you something. Tell you what, funny story. He parked his vehicle on my property. And I was going to go take my dually and go pull that trash off there. My wife go like, well, you better go tell the police first, just in case. I go down to the police station. I go like, hey, man, I'm going to put a fence up and I need this thing off my property line. Well, you have to take a certified letter out. Why in the hell do I pay $80,000 and I got to take a certified letter to tell somebody to get their trash off my property? Because I promise you, if it was the other way around, nobody would even ask me. They'd just pull it.
Right.
It took 32 days, brother. He didn't accept it, so they had to hand deliver it to him. And so he moved his mess. And so he'll stand on his property line. He'll stand on his side. I mean, and just talk mad gorilla shit to me. And, dog, do you know how hard it is to take this every day? But you know what, Shanks? I know that there is a better cause because everybody needs to hear a real life story by a real black man that has to go through it. And I mean, I gotta go through this. If I don't leave my parking lot, Shanks, I'm good. Old dude come in here the other day and he was talking. I remember I was telling you about the mom and daddy losing their farm ranch.
Yeah.
And he says to me, he's like, well, don't be telling nobody. He's like, oh, what the hell am I talking about? You can't talk to nobody in town anyhow.
Uncle Selwyn. So, and because I want to give you opportunity before we get out of here for you to, let folks know how to get in contact with you and our listeners how to support you. That's one. But two, I guess the ultimate question is because personally, you've endured so much and collectively as a people, we've endured so much and you're fighting and you're advocating. What is justice? What is victory for Uncle Selwyn, Selwyn Jones and his mission? What is the ultimate goal What allows you to rest?
For everybody. Instead of saying that Shanks dude, that's a pretty cool black guy. What about Shanks just being a pretty good guy? Instead of that pretty little black girl, what about being just a little bit of just being a pretty girl? Everybody's got to respect each other, treat people as you want to be treated. And will prejudice ever go away? Racism ever go away? Probably not. But right now, Shanks and Mickey, we just had something happen almost a year ago that stopped the whole world. Everybody's eyes and ears are open to listen to truth and justice and to realize that, hey, just because you're tall, don't mean you got to be racist. Just because you got a big head, don't be mad. Just because you're black, don't discriminate. We have a chance, but it's going to take everybody to come together and just realize that one race, one group of people aren't the controllers or the boss of everybody else, which they think they are, which they say they are, which they have been. But we just got to believe in each other and believe that this thing got to get better. It's got to get better, man. Because, brother, if it don't get better, we can't survive a race war, Shanks.
Agree. I don't think anyone can, really.
I don't think anyone can. All I know is this, Shanks, is we have an opportunity because of my nephew's death to win this battle. And all I know is this, man, is I appreciate people like yourself giving me that opportunity. Anthony, gotta love you, boy. And I tell you the same thing I tell Anthony. If you can ever figure out how we can put Selwyn, I know my agent gonna hate that, in front of a situation so I can express my word for change. I sure appreciate you, my brother, because get him. This has been.
We appreciate you, sir.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you.
Thanks
and
so much
we
for coming
applaud
on.
you even more than appreciating you. We applaud you. Because it takes
Amen.
courage to do what you're doing, and you're putting yourself in the line of fire. And man,
You know what, Shanks? This is the bad problem. And this is gonna make you sad, buddy. You know normally how this happens? That black guy dies at the end of the movie.
yeah, I'm with you.
This black guy dies at the end of the movie. And like you said before, am I afraid? I'm not, Shanks and Mickey, because I know that if something happens to me, my heart is pure. My heart is doing this because of the love of my nephew, the love of being black, and the love of being a man that deserves more respect than what we've given. We could cry every damn day, Shanks. Mickey, we could cry every day by how things have happened to us. But guess what, man? I ain't crying. I'm just moving ahead, man. I'm trying to do the best I can do. And I thank y'all. And send me a recording. God bless you, kid, because y'all are absolutely wonderful.
man.
Uncle Selwyn, tell folks, because we have listeners who will not flood your Facebook and emails with the garbage that you've been in, and hopefully we can show some balance and support for what you're doing. So let folks know how to get in touch with you.
Justice for George, number 4, 846 at gmail.com. Selwyn Jones on Facebook. Justice for George on Instagram. I'm sort of kind of everywhere. And when this COVID gets up, man, guess what? I'm riding high.
I know you're ready.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I'm going down to Arkansas, buddy. I'm getting the Harriet Tubman Award, my friend.
Beautiful.
Listen to you.
Beautiful.
So
Congratulations.
Hey, man, that I don't think any of this means is because of my love for being a human being and for being black and just loving myself. Winners don't quit and quitters don't win. And kids, y'all are winners. Thank you, sir. God bless you.
We appreciate you. Appreciate you, Uncle Selwyn. And thank you for the Christy Brinkley reference. It was the first and probably only one that will be on against the
You're crazy, man. I was thinking Janet Jackson or J-Lo, but I had to keep the ebony flow right, man.
Oh man, it's beautiful, beautiful. We love it.
Hey,
We love it.
later,
We
boys.
love it. We
Later,
love
brother.
It was
Yes,
an
sir.
honor. Thank you so much.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Thank you, kids. I'm out.
it. Take care. That was awesome. We can't just end it. That was awesome.
You want to have a little wrap up comment?
And, no, we probably end up wrapping up in the next episode. But no, thank you and our listeners, man. Thanks for hanging out with us. We didn't talk any music, but obviously this was important. And man, awesome conversation. And thanks again to Uncle Selwyn, Mr. Selwyn Jones, for lending his time and his words, and he has plenty of them, which is awesome and makes our jobs easier. So this is David Traum Diggs Shanks.
And I'm Mickey Hess. If you want to hear some music, type in Big Floyd or George Floyd and the Screwed Up Click on YouTube. And you can hear a little bit of George Floyd's forays into hip-hop.
That's a fact. We'd play a snippet.
Copyright.
But we can't. All right, y'all. Signing off, man. This was a Guest in the House podcast.
Signing off. See you next time.
One love.
The life I lead, every breath, the air that I breathe. Give me liberty or give me death. 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 Just the life I lead.